for joining us here on Featured. I'm Symphine Privett. Now, we hope to inspire or simply make you smile with uplifting stories across the country. Let's start things off in Ohio, where a beloved chef has been taking care of customers for more than 2 decades, and now her community is returning to love at a time when she needs it most. Sia Nurkor has her story out of Cleveland.
She's a one-woman show who's been serving healthy eats for more than 25 years.
He wanted to do low carb, so this is a big option that he would enjoy.
Keeping athletes hydrated with her homemade juices and taking care of customers at Anna and the Raw Cafe in downtown Cleveland.
That is funny.
Now, after years of paying it forward, Anna Harivas is getting it back from some of the same community she delivers to.
I was so touched and crying because, now I know what people fight for. Like when they talk about having kids and a spouse and a big family, I was like, this must be what it feels like.
Anna tells 3 News she was diagnosed with a rare lung cancer.
They said I'm very lucky I caught it in time. It's a kind that radiation and chemo won't work, but they're just gonna remove the whole lung. Dude, is that insane?
Worried about the medical bills, the self-employed chef says she was in danger of losing her car, her home, and her life.
I laid in bed and stared at the ceiling and cried my eyes out. And you don't think you're gonna be dying at 50. I haven't eaten fast food in 30 years. I haven't had as many fries as I've wanted to. I've tried to be healthy. I didn't even take aspirin, and cancer does not care.
So her best friend started a GoFundMe fundraiser to help her recover. Within days, the donations poured in. 3 News cameras rolling as some stopped by the cafe to wish her well.
Good luck to you. I didn't know. I'm so sorry.
Anna tells me she's grateful and plans to fight.
You guys saved my life. I mean, I'm not a very emotional person, but it's very humbling, and I just hope it proves that there's so much more good in the world than there is bad.
Yes, that is exactly why we highlight stories like these. It is so important to see that there is a lot of good in the world. That was Sia Nurkor reporting. Now, this student athlete is inspiring his classmates, teachers, and coaches every day. Nate Byer makes balancing wrestling and schoolwork look easy, but as Will Hall shows us, he doesn't shy away from a challenge.
Rosemount senior Nate Byer started wrestling 8 years ago.
I just love it.
In some ways, you could say the sport chose him.
Nate's story is special because it's a story of perseverance.
He fights and he works through everything. He does not quit at all.
Nate Byer, 175.9.
I don't know if you would say cool or if it's an act of fate that it's the sport that he can actually continue on with.
Fate.
We don't ever miss. We're always here.
And family.
First move, let's go, come on.
But don't call it luck for the Irish senior.
Straighten out.
Nate's journey to the mat is built on hard work and toughness.
Keep moving.
He might be the only one in the state of Minnesota.
Work your angle.
Vision gives pain purpose.
How'd you get through it?
The main thing I did was just not letting it stop me from doing the things I enjoyed.
But what happens when the pain takes away the vision?
Keep moving.
So we took him in, and the guy's like, you need to go to the emergency room right now. We're like, what? No, he's like, there's something messed up with his optic nerves. You need to go to the emergency room now.
Let's go, Gavin.
Nate is legally blind.
Nate, how much can you see?
I'd say colors with enough high contrast or general blurry shapes.
Come on, you got this, let's go.
It's heavy blurring in my central vision, which works well for wrestling because I'm still able to discern enough general shapes to tell most of what a person's body is doing.
Keep fighting it.
2 years ago, he was diagnosed with Leber's hereditary optic neuropathy.
Gotta break the lock.
A rare genetic disease that causes vision loss.
She's like, no, this isn't reversible. This is permanent. The air just went out of the room. It's just a total gut punch where it's like, all right.
What was that moment like when you learned that it was irreversible and that you were losing your vision?
I'd say very overwhelming. I kind of just shut down a little bit.
We don't want to get stretched out.
Being able to continue with wrestling really helped.
Let's go in battle.
Nate picked himself off the mat through the very sport
Go, Nate.
that chose him. Wrestling rules allow for visually impaired athletes to compete by each competitor touching each other.
Good movement, Nate.
In a sport where you're always trying to see one step ahead,
Finish!
Nate has to feel to gain the upper hand.
Fight that off.
Keeps fighting for what he wants in life, and that is to be successful and happy.
I don't know that there's words to describe how proud we are of him.
How would you define the word perseverance?
I would define perseverance as not letting a hard time stop you from doing the things you hadn't originally intended to do.
Nate's perseverance.
Good finish, Nate.
One you don't have to see to believe.
I hear you, Nate. Sometimes, the younger folks can teach us grown-ups a few things. That was Will Hall reporting on that story. Now, this is the NFL's most valuable player of 2024, Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen. Now, an accomplishment he says doesn't happen without teamwork from the entire organization.
It takes everybody from the equipment staff to the training room to the strength staff to Slick Rick in the mailroom.
Now, since the shout out at the NFL honors, Slick Rick's life has changed for the better.
Here's your very own Chevy Traverse to drive off on and start taking back from Buffalo to Orchard Park every day.
I can't believe what's going on right now, Josh. I don't have words for what's going on now. I'm just, and Josh, you touched me for the rest of my life.
Oh my goodness, that is amazing. After learning Slick Rick took the bus to work every day for the past 15 years, a local car dealership gifted the Bills mailman a new set of wheels. Check him out. He can now take his 15-year-old son around and go to his games. Love that story. Everybody matters at a job. Though inspiration can come from anywhere. A coder out of Charlotte, North Carolina is proof of this. He is designing a video game based on a real-life intersection that is infamous for bottleneck traffic and frustrated drivers. Austin Walker shows us how his viral creation is resonating with thousands.
Exit 3A on I-277 towards Noda can really be described as the most perfect premise to a video game. 1 second. Weaving in and out of traffic, trying not to get hit, so one Charlotte man brought this idea to life. He begs the question, who really is the winner of this exit? Some might call this a traffic nightmare.
Exit 3A is here.
Cars exiting I-277 northbound trying to get to Noda, while other drivers are working to merge across 3 lanes of traffic to Uptown. But what might be a hair-pulling, stress-induced travel story for some is the perfect inspiration for others.
A loop nightmare game that you could play.
Standing at his desk,
I started working on adding the city background.
Michael Ramirez.
It's a lot of work.
Works on his latest creation, this video game.
The goal is to not do that. It's very arcade-like, so it's very what is your high score?
Inspired by Exit 3A.
If the person you're talking to knows what Exit 3A is, they immediately, their face brightens up, they just start laughing.
The conversation starting amongst friends, talking about their scary situations while using the exit, and transformed to a way they cope through humor.
Obviously it's a silly game. It's kind of poking fun at it. It's not realistic, but it's believable. Oh yeah, somebody flipped their car, that could happen there. Just because that area is kind of crazy.
According to an NCDOT study from January 2023 to December 2023, there were 8 crashes with 2 injuries at the exit. 6 of those crashes happening at the merge point. The city of Charlotte also hearing about the game, saying it's working with NCDOT on the concerns.
So now we're approaching it. There's the exit.
It's a game that could be a little dramatic.
You can hit the sign, which is fun.
But one Ramirez says sparks conversations.
If it does cause an improvement, that'd be cool.
Because at the end of the day, everyone is a player.
Alrighty, now to a video that has gone viral. It has been viewed more than 1 million times on Instagram alone. Check it out. It shows a little dog running on a freeway in San Diego, California. He was out there dodging cars smack dab in the middle of rush hour and even brought traffic to a halt. Kelly Hasdell spoke to Good Samaritans who saw the dog and stopped what they were doing to help out.
We're trying to not let him go into the street.
Cell phone video of Henry running up the 5 freeway in the middle of rush hour. Drivers had their hazards on, trying to stop him from going into traffic. People pulled over. They were trying to get a hold of Henry to rescue him. But Henry kept running and running.
This dog has run from downtown all the way to, we're at the 8 now.
Adam Fisher shot this video and couldn't believe what he was seeing.
It was just a wild sight. I've seen a lot of crazy videos of the 5, but this one was wild and I was right there for it.
But long before Henry got on the 5, he had captured the attention of a lot of people in the Middletown neighborhood.
He's a ham. He's a huge ham.
Jessica Baranian's dog Jack started barking when he spotted Henry running down Columbia towards India.
I ran outside to see if his owner was around. Didn't see anyone, so I just started following him down the street, and he was running really fast.
She and her boyfriend spent 45 minutes trying to get a hold of Henry, but he was just too quick.
So we're following him around. People are getting involved, other dog walkers. I was driving down India at one point. He was zigzagging across India, which is a busy street, and I had my hand out the window like, stop, stop.
She eventually lost sight of him and went home, only to find out video of the rest of Henry's adventure was on Instagram.
I kept replaying it because he recreated my experience so well. I was shocked that he got onto the freeway.
Finally, Henry ended up under a blue SUV. There was a man who crawled under it and actually got a hold of him.
You got him, you got him. Yeah, don't let him go.
And it was really cool to see that, that despite it being rush hour and the 5 all backed up, everyone was getting out of their cars and stopping traffic to try to save this little puppy.
Glad to see little Henry is doing just fine. That was Kelly Hasdell reporting. We have more for you on Featured straight ahead.
The penny is the key to everything.
So even though the 1-cent coin may be going away, that doesn't mean the value will. Collectors explore the possibilities of the penny. There's been talk in Washington about discontinuing the penny because its production cost is much more than its value. But as John Meyer tells us, a pair of Pennsylvania coin collectors say that the halt is actually good for them.
The penny presses like here at the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia may soon come to a halt. Production of a coin dating back to 1792 may end. But the smallest of our currency will live on in a big way.
As a kid, this is gold to us.
With coin collectors.
So this is how we all start, with the penny. The penny is the key to everything.
Bill Falzone and Mike Lettieri are with the Wyoming Valley Coin Club. As kids, they and many others got penny books like this and were determined to fill them.
Me and my brother, we used to go to the bank, we get rolls of pennies.
And that's what sparked my interest. I like shiny things. That's how I got started as a kid.
Pennies were cheap to get, a fun challenge to find. Every year, every variation. Some may see this as a lowly 1-cent piece. For collectors like these, pennies launched a love.
It is I would say, the heart of collecting, the penny.
In more advanced penny books, they collected untouched, shinier, more valuable coins, year after year, coin after coin that may end at 2025, a final year that could have collectors excited.
Not having the penny, and this will lead to more collectors trying to get a hold of these pennies. They will become more valuable.
If penny production ends, the 1-cent story will not.
History, coinage go hand in hand. It's amazing.
Pennies were once made of actual copper, except during World War II. Those years certainly stand out when copper was used for the war. Copper coins ended in 1982 when it just became too expensive. Now they are only copper coated. Soon they may be deemed too expensive to make at all.
Eliminating the penny was not going to hurt collectors. This will always be popular.
There are billions of pennies still in circulation, and collectors will keep looking to fill these holes, find the elusive ones. A love of some small change that will always have a big value to them. John Meyer in Luzerne County.
One man's trash is another man's, or woman's treasure in this case. Check this out. Sherry Johnson shared the deets about her recent thrifting trip in Kansas City on Reddit, and she said, always, always, always check out the pockets of expensive coats at thrift stores. She went looking for a used coat and ended up leaving with a little bit more. Sherry found $42 in the pocket. Now, apparently, finds like these are common at thrift stores. Reddit users shared their stories, one saying they found $30 in the back pocket of jeans, while another found $700 in the inner pocket of a blazer. Man, I'm never that lucky. I gotta keep trying. All right, let's head over to Minnesota now, where an airport doesn't have to look too far to find talent. Ian Russell shows us how the company is turning the spotlight on its employees.
Your carousel today is Carousel 6.
Looking for quiet? You're in the wrong place. Because there's a symphony of sound inside Terminal 1. Drums of all sizes, even the piano. This band's lead singer isn't center stage.
In the Ground Transport Center. That's me.
But back in the wings.
On a day-to-day basis, I manage time cards.
Ebony Coles didn't always sit back here.
I actually enjoy being on the other side of everything.
But she'll tell you she prefers it.
It does not feel weird at all.
Funny then that the former Sun Country ticket counter agent didn't run from the mic when given the chance.
Welcome to the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport.
She embraced it.
Your attention, please.
Becoming the voice of MSP.
Please proceed to checkpoint 1.
Of course, no band is complete without a studio.
Let's try saying it a little bit different.
Good thing the airport already has one.
If you want to start from ground transportation, we can do that too.
Okay, yeah.
Ebony spent hours in this audio booth recording line after line.
Welcome to the Minneapolis. Let me start that over.
All good.
Okay.
Please board the train.
Part of a group of airport employees becoming the voices of MSP.
Please use the Skyway on level 2.
We have some pretty amazing, talented people.
Angel Altoro runs the booth.
Smile for me, and then you can go ahead whenever you're ready.
And knows these simple sentences are not that simple.
We're talking about maybe like 3 to 4 hours per announcement.
Thank you for parking at Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport.
Ebony's not alone on the stage.
I'm the Director of Talent in Human Resources.
Sarah McNally also sharing the spotlight with 8 other airport employees.
It was literally the last day of submissions, and I saw audition, and I thought, oh, what the heck?
From ticket counter to tarmac, these pronouncements for parking.
You are parked in the blue ramp at Terminal 1.
Start with everyday people.
They've got great voices, they've got great talent, and we're able to display it.
Phil Burke with the Metropolitan Airport Commission knows talent is out there.
Okay.
Even if nerves get the better of them. But there's no room on this stage for those.
It's like a judge's chamber.
Not with so many following their lead.
It is my distinct privilege today to unveil the voices of MSP.
Talent is everywhere.
Welcome to the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport.
And comes from any one, adding to this symphony of sound.
Please use the Skyway on level 2.
And sometimes all you need to be the lead is to just grab the mic.
Go ahead and just shoot your shot. I thought that I was never going to win it.
At MSP, Ian Russell.
Welcome to the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport.
I love that. I always say you miss all the shots you don't take. Carry that with you as you head out. And that is the message for a big dreamer over in Texas.
Take a chance on yourself and don't be afraid to be different.
We'll tell you how she turned her wacky ideas into a booming business.
Jada, I have grown to love you, no matter how mean you are. Just kidding. I'm gonna miss you more than any other girl.
Oh, well, they say kids don't know about love, but hey, these two sure did. Their journey from elementary school sweethearts to marriage. Welcome back. Let's jump into what's trending. Now, most of us learn how to say please and thank you when we're young. I had to. I have Southern parents. But a bar in Connecticut is going viral after sharing this bartender etiquette training lesson. Check it out.
Hi, how are you?
Bud Light. Can I have a Bud Light? Could I have a Bud Light, please?
Sure you can.
Hey, I like it. The two bartenders say they filmed this video during a slow Monday at work. They did not expect to see it explode. getting more than 6 million views. Now, while it was made in good fun, the staff say they were surprised to find some people taking it just a little too seriously.
Kind of hit me when I got home and started really seeing all the engagement and how it was tracking and traveling. I never thought someone like myself would kind of be in the spotlight like this.
A lot of people did take it serious and think that if they were to come into our bar, they're going to get sprayed in the face, which was a little scary on how serious people thought, but all satire and fun.
Come on, take a joke. Michaela Sweeney, one of the bartenders, says people from all over the world have reached out to her since she posted the video, making her consider going back to school for a marketing degree. Hey, never know. Well, a young entrepreneur is living her wildest dreams. One of her many ideas just happened to turn into a viral sensation. Yvonne Nava has her story in Texas.
These are gonna go in the freezer.
Ty Clay pours herself into her work.
In elementary school, I had a business making and selling cookies. I had a t-shirt business out of high school going into college, and then I had a sticker business.
No matter what the work is.
I was working as a pastry chef in Denver, and the pandemic hit, and I moved into my parents, and I started making candles just as a creative outlet.
She taught herself by watching YouTube videos, got her own place, and started up Clay House Candles, door dashing by day to make money for rent and fueling that dream at night. But it was this Instagram post of her making a candle on December of 2023 that catapulted her career.
Social media is a beast. Don't underestimate it. Y'all spoke and I heard you loud and clear. And just overnight, it went viral. I woke up and it had a couple million views, and I think now it's sitting at 13.3 million. It didn't feel real. It felt like it was happening to someone else.
3 years of hard work, honing her craft.
Sometimes I'm up at 2 a.m. molding tiny little Fruit Loops out of wax.
And banking on her wacky ideas.
I have cereal milk, cactus flower, coffee day. I have one called True Crime and Chill.
Ty's creations have gone national. She's made candles for Keurig, Spotify. Alanis Morissette bought a candle when she was in town for ACL. The sky is the limit.
Take a chance on yourself and don't be afraid to be different.
Sound advice from a bright young entrepreneur.
I think I didn't really dare to imagine that it could be something big.
That was Yvonne Nava reporting. I've actually seen that young lady's candles on social media. Had no idea. Congratulations to her. Ahead on Featured, we have a different kind of crisis affecting our aging population.
It's really sad when you think about people that should be aging in place with dignity that are faced with being out in the street.
More seniors are facing homelessness and food insecurity. We speak to advocates on what can be done to fix the growing problem. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us here on Featured. I'm Symphine Privett, and we are bringing you some uplifting stories across the country. This first one, a little disappointing to hear. Senior citizens are finding themselves experiencing homelessness for the first time, but the growing problem, unfortunately, does not have a simple fix. Keith McGilvery speaks to an organization in Connecticut about how dire that situation really is and what needs to be done to find a solution.
The idea of living on the street is a scary one for Joe Nadeau.
Well, freezing to death in the winter and how people survive.
The 81-year-old is homeless for the first time. He's one of almost 6,000 homeless individuals in the state. In May, Joe moved into this 37-bed shelter at the Friendship Service Center in New Britain.
It's a special place. It's a bed to sleep on and food to eat and to make me happy.
Widowed with health problems and saddled with debt, he had nowhere else to go. Charlotte Dupree Cologne is the client care operations manager.
So Joe first came to us for mental health. So he struggled with his mental health and then was referred to us from New Britain General. And because of that, he lost his housing.
Dupree Cologne says Joe's story is becoming more common across central Connecticut.
I think it's difficult because he's experiencing homelessness for the first time in his lifetime. There's not a lot of resources out there for elderly.
The center's CEO says Connecticut's numbers match an upward trend across the country.
It's really sad when you think about people that should be aging in place with dignity that are faced with being out in the streets, in the elements, or in an emergency shelter. It's not how we think of our parents and our grandparents having to live, but we've seen an increase in seniors nationally, and here in the state of Connecticut, about 25% of our state's population that is experiencing homelessness are also seniors.
And while some have beds with family, friends, or shelters, it's worse for others. Recent numbers show 17 of the region's 71 known unsheltered individuals, folks who don't have a traditional roof over their head, are seniors. Friendships leaders say there are no simple solutions, that seniors living off SSI and minimum wage jobs can't afford rising rents, and that a lack of affordable senior housing doesn't help. They say the legislature needs to take action while they do what they can to help folks like Joe.
I treat people like how I would want to be treated, and I treat especially the older folks how I would want someone to treat my family, with the respect and dignity that they deserve.
It's kindness Joe doesn't take for granted.
And that was Keith McGilvery reporting. All right, we have some video that I really want you to come to your TV to check out. Over in Arizona, first responders jumped into action to save a woman from a burning vehicle. This all happened during rush hour traffic. So here's what went down. A cement truck crashed into a pickup, rolling it over with the driver trapped inside, you guys. Wow. Officer Brian Larison was the first on the scene. He grabbed his baton and started banging on the driver's side window to break it.
My thought was, I'm not going to let her burn up. I was like, I hit it 3 times. I was like, it seemed like it took forever to try to get this window to break. And my thought was, she's not dying.
Officer Larison wasn't alone, though. There was an off-duty firefighter on his way to work. Talk about being at the right place at the right time. Asa Paglia already had his gear in his trunk. He quickly put it on and ran over to help. The two pulled the woman out of the burning car.
She clung to me on the side of the road, and I just held her.
Get back from the truck. Get back. Get back.
And I just told her I had her.
Wow, look at that emotional reaction there. The woman was taken to the hospital. Bit of good news here. She is expected to make a full recovery. A man in San Diego created a sanctuary for youth in his community. The founder drawing inspiration from his personal experience. Now, he spoke to Abby Black about the importance of teaching young people the art of expression.
10-year-old Mason Clark found his voice one note at a time.
It feels amazing because I don't have to be scared about being embarrassed.
Since joining Movement B in 2nd grade, Mason has shed his shyness. Now he's dancing, performing, and writing his own story.
Writing it down or drawing it or putting it in a song, it would make me express it in ways that I don't really talk about.
Founder Nate Howard tells us he found his voice after he says he was racially profiled and arrested at a USC party he helped organize in 2013, an incident that sparked national outrage.
Poetry is this idea of healing, right? It's a language that's vulnerable. And so when people are stereotyping and labeling you and you're trying to assimilate in a culture or speak a certain way, you realize as a poet, I become the namer. I get to express things in the way that I want to express them best.
Watching arts and self-expression disappear from schools, Howard created Movement B, a sanctuary for creative learning through math, music, art, and poetry. Now, thanks to the San Diego Foundation, the nonprofit's summer camps welcome all San Diego Unified students from kindergarten through 6th grade, completely free of charge.
If your students feel good about themselves, if their well-being is understood, then they will excel in the classroom. Your whole school culture would change.
For Howard, he says it's empowering to be able to unlock the potential in students like Mason who didn't even know they had it.
I would just encourage, people to realize the power in telling their story before someone else does.
Because everyone has the power to write their own story.
That was Abby Black reporting. Well, for many, the classroom or even the playground is where childhood crushes come and go. But for one Colorado couple, their elementary school is where their love story first began. Rachel Krause tells us more.
Yeah, it was so different in here.
It was.
A
trip to Mission Viejo Elementary
It's changed a lot, but being in here, it does bring me back to that moment, you know.
is a homecoming for Jada and Jabari Sarles.
Now, where are you guys?
Turn one more page.
That's us standing next to each other.
We met in kindergarten in Miss Hebert's class.
Yes, Miss Hebert's class.
At first, fast friends.
She was my friend, but then she was also kind of my bully a little bit too at times, so.
Then childhood crushes.
I remember second grade, I started liking Jabari a lot, and that's when I do remember myself kind of, you know, running around on the playground, kicking him.
Yearbooks now hold those memories.
Jada, I have grown to love you, no matter how mean you are. Just kidding. I'm gonna miss you more than any other girl.
Messages that carry meaning even 2 decades later.
Clearly I was in love back then.
After elementary, Jabari and Jada ended up at different schools. They kept in touch throughout the years.
I would say it was when we were about 20 or 21, I just happened to message her on Instagram and just got a different reception, so I started talking to her every day, and once we started hanging out, we just instantly knew that we were going to be together forever, so.
When they tied the knot in 2019, a reading from Jada's 4th grade journal felt fitting.
I think I love Jabari. But I don't think I could love any boy more. I'm only 10, and I know it is too early to talk about love. Sooner or later, I will be grown.
Now a family of 3. And when it came time for their 5-year-old Avela to start kindergarten, one school made sense.
I think it would be great.
But would she find her own soulmate in this same school?
No.
She asked that before she started kindergarten.
She did.
She asked us, she said, Mom, will I find my husband like how you found Daddy? I think she asked to buy that too as well. Yeah.
I wasn't ready for that question at all, so I'm still kind of working through those emotions, processing. It's like, I hope you do, but also I hope you and I don't have to think about that for a long time.
That was Rachel Krause reporting. Dad, you got a lot of time to work through that kind of stuff. We have much more for you ahead on Featured. It is all smiles for this woman who spent the day at the sheriff's office. Oh boy, we'll tell you the reason for her visit straight ahead.
Dang, I can't believe he's able to do this.
And all eyes on this skier who was amazing other folks on the slopes, but it's not his skills that's catching everyone's attention. Welcome back. Put on your ski gear because we are hitting the slopes. Boyd Hubert introduces us to a ski legend in Minnesota who is still going strong at 96 years old.
Morning, guys.
For some people at Welch Village,
Fantastic.
skiing
Feels great.
never gets old.
Oh, hi, boys.
Skiing, perhaps.
Helmet,
but
ski boots.
That doesn't mean skiers.
A special fence.
Alex Rivlin's gearing up is a process. Not surprising.
And the last one.
When you're how old?
I forgot. 96.
It's one thing
Are you kidding?
for Alex
96.
to amaze inside the chalet. Another out here. The skier carving a path at Welch Village was born in 1928.
Dang, I can't believe he's able to do this.
Born before chairlifts
Nice to see you.
were even invented.
I usually sing something.
If Alex isn't lifting his voice in song, he's riding the lift, laughing. Giddiness that accompanies him up and down the hill.
He's an amazing guy. He's a machine.
A machine of a man, built
Very active.
in the time of the hammer and sickle.
Yes, it's me. We were racing in the suburb of St. Petersburg.
Alex first fell for skiing in his native Russia,
Always wearing hat.
where he'd worked as a researcher on a nuclear icebreaker.
Twice, North Pole.
His skis always along.
It's me.
Though more for chuckles.
For fun.
Than white knuckles.
No heels, only ice and ice.
But back in St. Petersburg, Alex turned up the heat.
The championship of Soviet Union.
He skied professionally.
Somewhere in the middle.
And became a coach
this one.
For aspiring Soviet Olympians. His passion on display.
I tried to kiss a ski.
Then, in 2001,
better life.
Alex,
I'm very happy,
immigrated to America.
Out of my way.
Where his love for skiing was rekindled on the slopes of Welch Village.
Today actually marks his 30th day this season.
Welch's Taylor Jackson.
Yes.
Keeps count.
Last year it was nearly 60 days, and he was the last one off the hills last year. When we shut down all the lifts, he was the last one out there.
Then Alex left Welch with a promise.
He always makes sure to tell us that he bought a season pass for the next year.
Promise kept for 24 straight years.
This one is my favorite. The cheapest one.
Far from home, Alex is home.
You are part of this place now. You are part of Welch now.
At 96.
I skied yesterday 4 hours.
Alex Rivlin is still not over skiing, nor over the hills.
That was Boyd Hubert reporting. A high school football coach in Idaho is bringing his players and elementary school students together. It's all to help build some special bonds to help make a difference in young people's lives. Maggie O'Mara introduces us to the tribe.
Brody Lovelace is a senior at Kuna High School.
Today we came to all the elementary schools, all the seniors did.
And he's a proud member of the football team.
We greeted all the kids as they got to the school. We opened car doors for them and just helped them get to school, get to class today, and well, seems like the kids loved it.
He and some of his teammates are here at Silver Trail Elementary, making the kids feel special.
Good morning.
They're all part of the tribe.
The tribe, it's this program where we get to connect with the elementary school kids and kind of like introduce them to the team and like what we're about.
Kuna football head coach Bo Smith brought the idea with him to Kuna.
The tribe we started this year, it is basically a mentorship program for our football team. Mainly our varsity football players are tasked with being a mentor to elementary school kids in the area that opted for it.
Each player has a buddy for the football season. The players write letters to their buddies.
There's a weekly exchange of letters.
And they go to their activities and cheer them on.
It's like Optimist games or piano recitals, anything, and support them. It's really cool seeing these guys like support their tribe buddies.
My buddy is Mia. She's in 3rd grade. She's just a super energetic kid. She's very passionate about tons of different things. It's like she's one of the only girls in the tribe, and despite that fact, she still loves it.
Connor also has a buddy on the team, linebacker Casey Knapp.
He's just a cool dude, and I'm happy that he plays for Kuna.
The best part about being a part of the tribe, the home football game.
After games, they get to run out the tunnel with us.
We run with the football players out of the helmet.
And then stand with us for the national anthem and do all that stuff with us pre-game.
They get a cool experience with like the smoke and the fireworks and everybody cheering.
Coach Smith knows how special this is for everyone.
It's a really awesome experience. You just kind of see with the athletes too, like they light up as well. Like just now, like coming out here, like seeing like these tribe kids come up and hug their buddies, and you see the big smile on their faces, like seeing that impact that they have on a little kid's life, I think brings so much growth to these guys. We've gotten great reception from parents about it. It's just another way to kind of grow our community.
It means a lot to Brody.
I get to create a legacy and that like I get to impact somebody's life.
And Coach Smith says this is just the beginning.
This is going to get bigger and better. We're going to get more participation. I'm going to get more football players to do this. Like, my plan's to have like hundreds of elementary school kids on our sideline, like just lining the whole field.
The tribe is truly making a difference in so many young lives in Kuna.
I love what's going on. Like, I love Coach Bo and like all the things that he's brought to the program, and just I'm excited to see how things are going to turn out in the next few years after I leave.
Like, main goal is just building our community. We're big on CUNA here.
That was Maggie O'Mara reporting. Don't go too far. We still have more good left to share.
I had two choices when I walked out: to act like it didn't happen, or to do something good with it.
She spent more than 25 years in prison, and now she's using her time to give back. Stick around to find out how. Welcome back. This next story is about redemption. A program in St. Louis is giving second chances to people who were previously behind bars. Justina Coronel shares how it is giving them the tools to succeed after incarceration.
I went to prison at 16 on a life without parole sentence here in the state of Missouri, and as laws changed and 26 years went by, I started looking at the reality of I was returning home and I wasn't prepared.
Jessica Hicklin took it upon herself to learn about coding while confined at the Potosi Correctional Center. She built the technology system called Unlock Labs in 2022.
And I had two choices when I walked out: to act like it didn't happen, or to do something good with it.
That good for her? Developing this nonprofit to uplift detainees with limited resources.
There's just not enough staff or enough budget to be able to help those folks get what they need to succeed. That's where we come in.
Unlock Labs provides technology to institutions, and it enhances access to education, rehabilitation, and re-entry resources for detainees.
Roughly just short of 5,000 people use our tools currently, and we are definitely on track for that number to double or triple over the next year.
Based in St. Louis, Unlock Labs started with 4 workers, growing to 18 full-time employees, and half of the staff members are formerly incarcerated.
It's very important that people who live the problem are part of the solution, no matter what realm we're talking about.
Anthony Miller was in prison for 20 years and spent 3 at the City Justice Center. While behind bars, Miller was introduced to Unlock Labs, unlocking another world.
Just knowing that I had it, I felt like I was going to be okay.
Building a portfolio and confidence. Miller now works for the organization as a software engineer. The gift given to him, now shared with others.
It's personal with me because I know what this did to my life. So if I can be instrumental in like assisting somebody else in achieving like what I have, their own version of it, like that's the payoff for me.
That was Justina Coronel reporting. Now, when you're 104 years old, there's probably not a whole lot left on your bucket list, but this young lady wanted one thing for her big day: a visit to the Slammer. See Loretta there? She and joined a local sheriff's office just outside of Rochester, New York. They took her in, took her fingerprints, her mugshot, locked her up in a cell, and then gave her some birthday cake. Had a nice little sweet ending. She also says, listen to this, guys, her secret to a long life is to mind your business. I agree, Miss Loretta. A few people could learn a thing or two from her. All right, now before we go, I have a heartwarming moment to share with you between a stepdad and his stepson. Check it out.
How do you feel I love you?
Looking back,
For real?
For real?
Yeah. You know I love you, right?
A Ring camera captured the moment Raul asked his stepson Ezra if he could adopt him. Oh my goodness. And as you can see, the question brought the little 11-year-old boy to tears as he says yes. His mom posted the video with the caption, "I can't stop crying." I love that video. All right, that's it for Featured. I hope you found something that inspired you or simply made you smile today. Until next time, make it a great one.